A FAANG engineer posted a simple question on Blind. Why does everyone in tech treat work like their whole identity? 70 replies later, we've got Bay Area hustle beef, coasting engineers proud of their zero promos, kids versus no kids resentment, and one Waymo engineer who just genuinely loves his job. The poster's a FAANG engineer in his 20s, and he's frustrated. His argument in one line, work is a transaction. 40 hours, that's the deal. Not the meaning of his life. He complains that his coworkers treat work-life balance like a moral failing, that job prestige is a status game he refuses to play, and that in a job interview, someone once asked what side projects he does outside of work. His reaction, quote, WTF, outside of work. He's already doing 40 hours of technical work. He signs off asking if he's the only young engineer in tech who sees things this way. The top-voted reply from another FAANG engineer is short and cuts straight to the frame. 68 upvotes. Quote, it's the Bay Area hustle bubble. If you go outside the Bay, most people have lives that don't revolve around work. That's the whole comment. Blind agreed? This isn't a tech problem in general. It's a geography problem. The original poster jumped back in to head off a pushback. Someone had asked why he begrudged engineers who genuinely enjoy coding as a hobby. His reply, 33 upvotes. Quote, I don't have a problem with side projects. You can spend your time as you wish outside of work. I just said it shouldn't be an expectation. An engineer at an ad tech startup added 5 words to the geographic thesis. 22 upvotes. Quote, I fucking hate Bay Area. Not every Bay Area take was hostile. A FAANG engineer waded in with a contrarian view. Quote, it's not that competitive if you have a vision for yourself and basic intellectual curiosity. If you like being haphazard with no interest in what you're doing, you'll find the Bay Area competitive. Another engineer at the same FAANG company wasn't having it. This was the guy whose Bay Area hustle bubble comment had topped the whole thread. His response was that if basic intellectual curiosity was really the bar, the first guy should be a CEO instead of just an IC. Then the fight got personal. 10 replies of accusations of low self-esteem, loser mindsets, ego problems, and we work at the same place, buddy. The exchange closed on one of the cleaner burns in the whole thread, quote, are we even reading the same post? Don't know why you feel so attacked for someone's lifestyle. Maybe that's why you're still Staff MLE? The tone shifted when a FAANG engineer laid out the recruitment psychology behind the whole culture. 17 upvotes. Quote, the Valley, including your employer, was always looking for passionate people who will change the world with code and add massive impact. So they targeted people in hackathons and those who do open source. Such people are good employees because their lives and validation revolve around employment. West Coast tech companies can make them work more, and they won't really complain. Some people say that's how tech should have always been, and the people who are in it for money or in it to work 40 hours are ruining it. I am with you, though. It's a means to an end. An engineer at a public SaaS company followed up with the twist that everyone in the thread felt but hadn't said out loud. 13 upvotes. Quote, funny thing is, it's those passionate ICs who ruin work-life balance for other ICs, and the managers happily exploit them and maintain work-life balance for themselves. Then a Fortune 500 retail engineer stepped in with a full description of the philosophy in action. 20 upvotes. Quote, I follow the same motto. 5+ years of experience, and the top company I have worked at is a Fortune 500 retailer. I have received 0 internal promos to date. I always do the bare minimum and spend time on my hobbies. YouTube channel, gym. I jump ship once every 1.5 to 2 years to keep my total comp and title progression. If job and titles are the only thing that defines you, you're the poorest person despite your total comp. A FAANG engineer chimed in with a one-line question. Is your team hiring? The Fortune 500 engineer took 2 days to reply, and then he delivered the answer that beat his own top comment. 23 upvotes. Quote, they soon will once I leave. Back on the geography angle, a FAANG engineer replying to the top comment described their own escape route. 11 upvotes. Quote, it's also self-selecting. Almost everybody I know who didn't make their job their identity has moved out of the Bay into other cities because this environment was so toxic to them. I myself moved to LA and fly into SF twice a week. An engineer at a bulge bracket bank kept it terse. 13 upvotes. Quote, I only care about what's needed. Some people show up to work like it's their dad's company. I don't know what their issue is. They act like if they don't work, the company will shut down. An engineer at a major US tech company added a cultural observation. 10 upvotes. Quote, a lot of people have the mindset that since the company pays us so much, it's downright unethical to be thinking about anything other than work. I've noticed that Chinese engineers at my employer especially have this perspective. Someone replied with the reframe that grounded the whole comp versus loyalty argument. 5 upvotes. Quote, they pay us this much because they have to, due to supply and demand, not because of their generosity. An engineer at a public SaaS company brought in a cross-profession comparison. 10 upvotes. Quote, you're not alone. It's not like doctors do surgery for fun outside of work hours. I would be shocked if lawyers were expected to work pro bono just to get hired. An engineer at a streaming media company distilled the whole debate into 2 words. 3 upvotes. Quote, not American? Halfway through the thread, an engineer at a GIS software company opened up an angle nobody else had gone near. Only 2 upvotes, but the sub-thread she kicked off was one of the longest in the post. She wrote that on her team it's normal for parents to be offline a couple hours once or twice a week and have their work fall on her, even when she's finished her own on time. And when she takes vacation planned 3 months in advance, her boss and a few teammates get furious. Someone told her she shouldn't hold different standards for parents and non-parents. Her response went on for a while, but the core of it. At every other company she's worked at, if someone took time for their kids, they'd work later that evening to finish. Here, that norm doesn't exist. She plans her vacations months out. She still gets treated as the blocker when the queues piled up because everyone else was moving slowly. Some of the thread got mean. An engineer at a major US bank posted the line, 8 upvotes. Quote, tell me you're not autistic without telling me you're not autistic. The response was another engineer telling them the original poster was right, and they were the autistic one. Someone else from a FAANG company then pointed out that the person calling everyone autistic, the person defending the original poster, and the original poster himself were all on the same side of the argument. Nobody seemed to notice. A FAANG engineer punctured the whole philosophy with a job market gut punch. 4 upvotes, 9 words. Quote, selection bias, non-workaholics get PIP'd out these days in my org. It's the whole thread's problem in one line. The reason none of this stays theoretical for long. An engineer at an AI research lab landed on what might be the healthiest position in the whole thread. 5 upvotes. Quote, I work like crazy and take my work seriously. But outside of a very small circle of specific friends who are also techies, I never talk about my work with anyone. There are so many other interesting things in life. You can have both. Care about the work while it's in front of you. Care about other things when it's not. And to close, the one comment that made the whole thread grind to a halt. An engineer at a self-driving car company added a single line that everyone else had to sit with. Quote, I just think it's fun to make a self-driving car. No defensiveness, no argument. He just really likes his job. That's what a blind thread on work-life balance looks like when it stops being philosophy and gets specific. Bay Area beef. Coasting engineers proud of zero promos. Parents versus non-parents. The autistic joke flame war. And one Waymo engineer unbothered, just enjoying his job. If you've had this argument with your own coworkers, tell me how it went. What's the take that ends it?